Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Come on, Rasa, get out of the shower and do this video.
Leave me alone.
We have a video to do. Get out or I'm going to shock you while you're in the shower.
Fine, I'll do it.
And leave the ice cream behind. What is every Rasa does this on Valentine's Day? Huh?
Is something wrong, BV?
Nothing. Today we're going to be talking about Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, I'm actually a fan of that series.
Yeah, Netflix made a series off of it.
Huh. It's a blue key, not green.
Weird.
Whatever. Tension!
Hey, where the hell's my towel? And my hair's dry?
It will come back when you dehension.
Okay, let's begin.
So, how was it?
Well, it wasn't what I expected.
Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is an 8-episode series based on the comic series Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, with the series being special as all the characters in the show are voiced by the cast who did the live-action movie. So it's actually kind of cool as we had it in video game and live action. Surprise cartoon was the last entertainment that they didn't do. The first episode starts out like the comic, where we get introduced to Scott Pilgrim, a 23-year-old freeloading slacker who lives in Toronto, Canada, crashing with his gay roommate Wallace Wells.
Rasa!
What? The show and him actually admits it. And besides, I actually like his character's passive aggressiveness towards everybody. Shows that it's more likability more than anything else. And besides, I kind of believe that he's actually doing that so he can kind of push Scott into being more of a mature person. Or that is really trying to hit on Scott.
Scott is the basis of the band Sex Bomb.
Yeah, in the world of Scott Pilgrim, it kind of runs on like some video game logic. Also, if you're a massive video game lover, you kind of like the Easter eggs.
With him in the band is his friend Steven Still and his ex Kim Pines, and in his friend group, Young Neil, and his kind of relationship with high schooler Knives Chow.
How old is she?
17.
He's 23, that's messed up.
BV, the most they ever done in a relationship is hand-holding. And besides, that's the point. He's not supposed to be likable in the beginning.
He's always seeing a girl skating by him, only for him to wake up from it. And at a party he attends to, he meets the same girl, named Ramona Flowers. After an awkward conversation, he was at least able to understand what her job is, and to try to talk to her again, he orders a Netflix film, hoping that she will deliver it to him.
Wait, what? Order Netflix?
Oh yeah, Netflix was originally a DVD rental service online where you could just have them delivered to you.
And it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it kind of went full circle.
They hang out and bond to even a relationship forming the bloom, and he invites her to his concert, while at the same time they're being spied on by an evil organization, the League of Evil Exes, as they send Scott a letter telling him that he is being targeted.
So, how'd you take it?
He barely read it.
I'm borrowing this.
Ow!
At the concert, romantic comedy commences with Knives, his current, and Ramona appearing at the concert at the same time. As they're about to begin, it gets ruined by Matthew Patel, the first of Ramona's exes, ready to kill Scott.
And since this world is based on video game logic, round one, fight!
The fight begins, and with one punch, Scott dies and turns into coins.
Wait, did this happen in the comics? Did it happen in the game? What about the live action?
Well, at least now I'm starting to see why I'm wearing blue instead of green. The lead protagonist died in the first episode.
Episode 2, Scott's dead with the coins left behind. Matt's all happy and ready to confess his feelings for Ramona, and she just leaves. Concert's over. At the funeral of Scott, we see people mourning his loss, and Knives calling Ramona out for getting Scott killed, and only for the drama to pause as Scott's ex Envy Adams appears to give her respect. At the League, we meet all the evil exes, which they're all confused of why they're brought here. Even Gideon was confused, as he's the leader of this group. It was only revealed that Matthew brought them all here. As he explained, he defeated Scott, and Ramona denied him. And with Envy's performance broadcast at the funeral proved that he is dead, he put two and two together and called Gideon out on his plan, as Gideon spilled the beans and said that his goal was to have them all wiped out. Either they kill Scott or Scott kills them all. Either way it goes, he'll be the last one and he'll get back with Ramona. And with that being spilled, Matthew challenges Gideon for a fight, with Gideon betting his corporation. We see the two fight, and Matt is a talented fighter, beating Gideon and claiming everything. And since the plan was revealed, everyone just left Gideon with nothing.
I wonder what Matthew would say once he sees what's inside that safe.
What is that?
Yeah, why are there a bunch of frozen women in here?
No, there was something there.
I don't see anything behind me.
Rasa, call the Exterminator when this is over.
Episode 3, Ramona begins looking for info for what happened, as she figured out that Scott was kidnapped, and starts to see who could have done it, while Sex Bomb discovers knives could replace Scott as bases. Ramona goes for the first suspect, Kim, who works at the video store.
What?
A video store?
What is that?
Oh, yeah, it's a store that you rent movies and video games for a short amount of time and then return it. Kind of like a library.
There she is confronted with Roxy, one of her exes. The battle with the issue as Roxy's inferiority and the fact that Ramona just bailed on the relationship as they travel between movies of different genres. Even Kim's messing with it by pausing and rewinding the films. But after a while, Ramona apologized and they bury the hatchet, though Roxy's okay with them being friends with benefits, even trying to see if Kim would swing for the other team. Episode 4, we see young Neil trying to write up a script, but decides to just crash, and somebody starts writing a script for him, which leads to more questions. Since the timeline has changed, we get to understand more on Lucas's part. Since his personality and attitude throughout the whole time, he only has one more movie to do or else he'll be out of the filming business. And that movie he's working on is Scott Pilgrim?
So the cartoon is making a movie based on the live-action movie that What If Scott won? This is getting too meta.
Does anyone else smell copper?
Ramona investigates on set as a stunt double of herself as she sees Envy playing herself and Lucas is playing Scott. Later on, Wallace appears and he gets the cast as himself.
How did he know?
Dude, when it comes to Wallace, he'll appear when he's needed.
I'm gonna pull this band-aid off because I'm getting sick and tired of this joke. Because throughout the whole episode, everyone kept pointing out Scott is dating a high schooler. And that joke got so annoying. He was even pointed out by the news media that Lucas is dating the actress who is playing Knives. To which even Lucas points out, hey, she's 31.
You have to remember that people are mostly remembered by the stupidity that they did more than anything else in their life.
Good point.
But like most celebrities in this world, they were starting to deal with ninja paparazzi.
You do know the point of being a ninja is not to be seen and their cameras flash?
What the hell? I don't remember ninjutsu in any journalism classes.
More likely in Canadian colleges.
Lucky.
Which Lucas starts fighting them off to protect Ramona. And after a long, hard battle and a set being destroyed, Ramona tries to help Lucas out and escapes. But because of the damage on set, Lucas gets dropped by his agency, but he was able to bear the hatchet with Ramona, and even tells her that he didn't do it as he skates off. Envy's boyfriend Todd, another one of Ramona's exes, appears through a portal, which gives her a new clue as he takes on the role of Scott Pilgrim for the movie.
Episode 4, we're getting a documentary style of the failure of making of the movie, with the interviewing of the cast. Give us a moment. Rasa had to go to the hospital due to the nosebleeding. I think the metal was too much for him. Throughout the interview, we see how all the movies being made, and we see the issue. Todd won't stop making out with Envy on set. Thankfully, Rasa's not here. He would either been angry that they're screwing up a movie set, or depressed and being in the shower again. And Wallace decides to troll the scene with him making out with Todd. What the hell? Wallace must have the power of conversion for how smooth that was.
Then we get a massive montage of Wallace and Todd, what would be the YouTube-friendly way of saying, looking like abstract daddy.
Luckily, Envy and Todd are in an open relationship, or this would be major awkward. We later get shown how Ramona and Todd hooked up, and told him that he punched a hole in the moon for her. He also did it for Envy. How many people was he seducing? On day 2 of filming, they were already over budget by $17 million. Hollywood in a nutshell. Todd is head over heels for Wallace, and Envy, in a frustration, walks out and confronts Wallace. And Wallace just tells him it's just a movie fling. I wish most celebrities would believe in that principle. After saying this, Todd's having a mental breakdown and Envy's ready to kill Wallace, to which he prepares with stunt doubles. Envy does the same, where we have Wallace and Envy telling their doubles to fight. When does this become Pokemon? The battle ends after Wallace insults him too much, and Ramona puts two and two together after discovering this is not in the movie. Oh, let me guess, when did Wallace multiply by 4 and fight you? They go to Todd's trailer and seeing him have a vegan relapse. With Envy and Rage, Ramona just finally asks about the portal that they used to capture Scott, which Envy points out by looking at the portal saying that it's not Todd as it's way too perfect. With no other leads, Ramona just leaves, with Matthew appearing on a helicopter and firing everyone. You spent 2 days, and all you got were scenes of 3 people making out. Oh, they're better over than how we do it. Throughout the time, Steven and Nav were walking around trying to get Envy to listen to their music, but they were able to get a meeting with Matthew. That's one way to get your foot in the door, or a helicopter. With Ramona confronting Matthew and explaining what's going on, trying to explain what happened, and that Gideon is now staying with Julie, and that his real name is Gordon. Ramona bolts because she wants some answers.
Heck, if one of my friends were holding a secret like that, I would have been bolting there asking questions too.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, the doctor said that the brain damage wasn't severe and I'll be recovered by tomorrow, but for some weird reason I keep telling him I taste Monday.
Better than nothing.
Episode 6 starts with Gordon slacking off as he receives a call from Lucas asking for forgiveness. And they forgive and become best friends. They start playing games and acting like kids on an over-the-top level.
I wonder how Julie feels about it.
Well, based on Julie's character, it will be nothing but black bars and constant bleeping for how much she swears.
Though it is funny that throughout the whole series, the twins' robot was actually bouncing around everywhere that we see in each episode, and Julie's the first one who notices it. 90 minutes earlier, Ramona meets up with Julie and learns that her and Gordon are dating.
That was fast, but then again, reality is sometimes a cruel being.
You're not going to get in that shower!
Steven and Knives are practicing as they gotta deal with Matthew to put on a play as he's a massive theater nut.
I think I preferred it when he died.
In Minecraft!
As they're going to be taking the movie script that young Neil made and changing it to a play, they needed to get Neil's permission, and he doesn't care, as he stated he wasn't the one who put it together, which gives them a mystery to try to solve. From Julie's story, we get to understand more about Gordon, and we get to see from what caused them to be this way, and what Julie likes in him. And we get back to where it began. Julie ready to beat up the two, only for Ramona to stop and give everyone adult advice. She's gonna go look for info on the twins, Lucas goes off to do his thing, and Gordon and Julie acting like a couple.
Rasa, I swear you either get up or I'm gonna lift you up by your ears.
The gang meets up with Ramona as she explains the case and the backstory with the twins. And putting it together, they were able to find out that it was the robot is using vegan power.
What?
Well, it wouldn't make sense, BB, as a robot has never eaten meat or dairy. Its vegan powers would be stronger than a normal vegan, and it'll be able to make portals better than any normal one.
That is the most nonsensical, logical answer I've ever heard.
While the gang reveals that the info of the script was made about 14 years ago, they open the door to reveal Scott, as they informed them that they were right, and that there was a third party. Him. Episode 7, Scott back as he explained what happened to him, as when he went through the portal, he got sent 12 years into the future.
Well, since this series is actually taking place in the past, that would mean current year, Canada has hover vehicles.
And yet, none of it went into fixing the city.
Future Scott explains what happened after the events of the comic or movie. As it turns out of all the members of Evil X's, the twins had an extra life, and they even forgave him, to the point where they even formed a band. And that it was their robot that was able to do the whole time-traveling shenanigans.
That's sad.
No, what's sad is the fact that Scott and Ramona got married and then divorced. So that's the ending to the movie and the comic books. Talk about a punch to the gut.
Yeah, they didn't explain it. It's just that they hit a rough patch and they're now divorced. And older Scott is crashing at Wallace's place, and he's telling Scott not to hook up with Ramona, to the point where he is not taking him back to his own timeline until he promises he's not going to date Ramona. But lucky for Scott, he's able to use the robot as a means of seeing what the hell's going on in the past. Lucky for Scott, older Wallace takes him to older Ramona as she explained her plan of what she was trying to do to get Scott and Ramona to hook up again, as she was the one who wrote the script.
Amy, I hear Indigo again.
I hate time travel.
And with Ramona's text gates, they get sent back to the main timeline. And the first thing Scott does is fix his issues with knives, which is better than the original.
Didn't help she believed he was dead, which fastened the process.
Time and place, BB! Time and place!
As he's ready to share a kiss with Ramona, only for a force field to deny them, leading to a question. Does Scott have to fight the X's to fix this? Final episode. Instead of hunting the X's, they decided to use Scott Pilgrim's play to have them all gather together and to have a quick session of ruling out who it is.
Roxy.
Doesn't care.
Lucas.
Doesn't have the know-how.
Todd.
Relapsed.
The twins.
Saw the future. They're best friends.
Matthew.
Didn't even know Scott was back.
Gordon.
Too busy worrying about Matthew.
So it's another whodunit.
With all gathered, we get to see Gordon's plan to blow up the stage with dynamite. And the blowing up takes place, taking the cast to a crater?
Damn it, Todd!
Actually, the culprit is a much older Scott.
What?
Yeah, when Scott was in the future, his older self infected him with the nanomachines that would activate if he tries to kiss Ramona. But they were able to solve it in the past to fix it, so the events still play out. But now with this new timeline causing some psychic... God damn it, this is why I hate time travel plots! Clear! 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 Clear!
What a mess.
Reason and motivation.
So after Wallace evicted Scott, he trains for his new goal to bring them all here so he can kill them himself.
Wait, wouldn't this cause a massive paradox in the... Oh, for God's sakes. Clear! With the commencing of the fight, all of them are fighting using their best, but it's not working. Each of them getting plowed through. But luckily they were all get sent back to the play, with only Scott and Ramona remaining holding their ground, until an older Ramona shows up to stop it. For a woman with time traveling, you take your sweet time. Clear! And we see the issue with both Scott and Ramona. Ramona bolts the moment she hits a rough patch, or gets too caught up in love.
And Scott can't read a room and overthinks the problem. With Ramona accepting her issue, she fuses with herself, sends older Scott back, and they fix the nano issue with a kiss, sending them back to the theater.
Rasa, are you okay?
I hear cinnamon.
Give us a breather.
The plan was successful. Gordon and Julie captured for the dynamite, but Matthew tells him that he could take the business back as he sucks at it, only if he gets to keep the theater, to which Gordon agrees. And we get an epilogue. The evil X's are now doing their own thing, from working jobs to fixing themselves up. Wallace is having a vacation in France where he discovers true love. Sex But Bomb is now a four-man band with Knives and Steven helping out with Envy's work. And Ramona has a job as a stunt double, and everyone's happy with their lives. While in the background, Gordon and Julie are doing something evil, setting up Season 2.
And that was Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. It wasn't a bad show.
I can understand why people hated it at first, as it set it up like the comic, then changing the story, and as in the past, we dealt with a lot of bait and switch series, so trust is an issue.
Well, technically the show didn't lie to us.
What do you mean?
It's in the title.
Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
Well, Takes Off could actually mean a lot of things. As it could say Scott Pilgrim Takes Off as a series, or it could also say Scott Pilgrim Takes Off as in he left. So technically they didn't lie.
I hate English.
Besides, it's nice that we can see more of the characters and even give the X's second chances, as they were mostly just bitter lovers. Though I wish they did more with the twins. Having a story of Ramona trying to fix the problems from her past and even dealing with the time travel shenanigans and the what the F problem solving, it's not bad. As the story did a good job, but I'm pretty sure people would have loved it more if they did the storyline from the comics, because I'm pretty sure most of this stuff was for movie watchers only. And having a fleshed out story from the comics would have worked better. And then when they announced Season 2 and did Takes Off,
the shock would have been hitting more and better and not as negative. If we take the series in a game logic sense, the comics was 100% completion rate, the video game was skipping a dialogue run, and the movie was a speed runner. This was more New Game Plus. Overall, besides the new change in the series timeline, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is a great show to watch, though I suggest they should start working on Season 0. Okay, I'm done. What the? $275. Huh. Okay, I still get the money. My towel is still with me. And my hair is wet still. Okay, thank you for watching. Happy Valentine's, everyone. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go back into the shower.
Rasa, at least call an exterminator. I saw something that shouldn't be here. Rasa. Rasa!